What if I told you that 2,000 years before Columbus, someone reached the edge of the world, and what he saw was so strange that people refused to believe him? The ocean was never meant to be crossed. At least, that is what people believed in the ancient world. To them, the sea was not a path, it was a boundary. Beyond it, there was nothing. No maps, no certainty. Only darkness and fear. Ships stayed close to land. Sailors followed the coastline, because once the land disappeared, so did their safety. But one journey changed everything. Not led by an army, not driven by conquest, but by curiosity. A group of sailors prepared their ships, wooden vessels, bound with ropes, powered by wind. No compass, no clear map. Only one direction, north. They sailed past the edge of the known world, through a narrow passage, into a vast and terrifying ocean, the Atlantic. The waves were stronger, the water felt deeper, the horizon stretched forever. Days passed, then weeks. The coastline changed. The air turned cold. The sky looked unfamiliar. They saw lands no one had described before. People living in harsh conditions, strange customs, unknown worlds. Everything was observed. Everything was remembered. But the ocean itself began to feel different. The tides moved with unusual force, rising and falling like they were controlled by something above. For the first time, someone noticed a connection between the moon and the sea. They continued north, further than anyone had gone before. The cold became extreme. A thick fog covered the water. Silence filled the air. And then, something impossible happened. The sun did not set. It touched the horizon but stayed there. Light remained. Time felt broken. Night never came. The crew stood in silence, confused, afraid, because this should not exist. But the journey did not stop. The sea began to change. The water was no longer normal. It became thick, heavy, strange. Ice appeared. Not solid, not liquid, something in between. The ship slowed down. Movement became difficult. It felt like the ocean itself was pushing them back. This was the limit, the edge of their world. There was nowhere left to go, so they turned back. The journey home was long, heavy with stories no one would believe. When they returned, they told the truth. A land where the sun never sets, a sea that cannot be crossed, a world beyond imagination. But people laughed. They called it impossible, a lie, a fantasy. How can the sun stay in the sky? How can the ocean turn into ice? So the story was rejected, forgotten, ignored. Years passed, then centuries, and slowly, others began to travel north. They saw the same endless daylight. They found the same frozen seas, and the truth became clear. The impossible was real. A journey once mocked became one of the greatest discoveries in history, not because people believed it, but because it was true. Somewhere in the past, a voyage proved something powerful, that the world is far stranger than we imagine. And sometimes the truth sounds so unbelievable that it gets erased, but not forever.